that is Steam Up, A Feast of Dim Sum. Let's give thoughts. What do we think of this game?
I think it's pretty simple game that's easy to grasp, but it, like we've seen, the strategies can be a little different, and the kind of messing with people is interesting. It's not an entry level game, but it's not a very hard game. So it's like that one step above.
Yeah, low midweight game.
Yeah, it's a good guys, we played a couple of rounds of Werewolf or whatever. Let's play something that's
It's playable 2 to 5 players. Each player count has a different.
Oh, is this
the ring around the outside changes for the player count? So that's another reason. These will come in to effect to help you figure out where things go.
Yeah,
which is clever design, which I appreciate.
And they have a little dot counter for how many players on each of these rings. So there's another ring for 2 or 3 players to put in this spot. So your feast zones get smaller or bigger depending on your player count. So you just have to look at the line and see, are those steamers in my zone or not? I think 4 is the sweet spot for obvious reasons. I think it makes it much easier to know
the geometry is
the geometry of it. I think it gives you the right number of options to shop from on your turn with 4 players.
Yeah, it's always 2.
Always 2 steamers available at a time, and you're always sharing one of those with one of your neighbors. That feels right.
Unless that neighbor steals your steamer regardless because of his power.
Which, reaches across the board. Yeah, that would be really awful if that was an ability.
I'm going to play this fortune. Swap 1 dim sum in 1 top steamer with a dim sum in a different top steamer. Then I'm going to purchase a steamer, I guess,
God damn it.
You?
Just purchase that one.
Was that the steamer you wanted to buy?
I will never tell. The answer is a solid maybe.
The asymmetry in the player powers is robust. There's a whole lot of different characters to choose from.
Because
normally, and they're all very different player powers.
Normally they're pretty similar, but I like that they're all a wide range. It makes any game where I can go, ooh, I want to play this again, but this time it's that character. I think it's good design.
There's let's see, we played with 4 characters. There's 1, 2, 3, 4,
12.
5, 6.
They're Chinese zodiac.
7 more. So there's 12 characters to choose from.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of asymmetry, and it's enough for even at the max player count to do what they say during the setup, where you deal out 2 cards to everybody and let them choose.
Nice.
There's also 5 beginner characters to play with, so you can just give everybody a beginner character for the first time you play it, if you want to, which feels right. And I love the deluxe dim sum.
It's so good.
When we were at PAX and they were showing this off, and they were like, "This is the premium one," I was like, "Yeah, I cannot imagine playing without the premium version."
And I bought it because of the premium version. This looks like I want to play with it so bad. Whatever the game is, doesn't matter.
Right.
I want to touch these components, and they do feel good to play with.
They're rubbery fun. They bounce.
But it feels. I love this. It feels like you are taking something.
Yeah.
Really taking something, but it's filled with the little things. You're like, yes, these are mine now. These are for me.
I think the base game, the only stuff that's different are some wooden tokens instead of cardboard in some places.
It's mostly the rubber
but mostly
dim sum.
the rubber dim sum. That's otherwise it's the same. These are all the same components.
It's just tokens for the.
It's just little cardboard tokens.
It's this without the outside.
Without the outside, which
it's fine.
I think one minor gripe I might mention is just the fact that if you're familiar enough with the game, anytime you're drawing stuff out of the bag,
it's so easy to know
it's so easy to know what token you're grabbing.
Yeah, I went with the first thing that I touched
it's
to try to
supposed to
make it
be
fair.
a blind draw, so figuring out how to do those blind draws fairly, given the fact that you can tell what you're grabbing when you reach in, might be a little bit less easy to tell if you're using the cardboard tokens.
Yeah.
But they are still shapes as opposed to just circles or something.
Yeah, what comes out of the bag should really just be bees.
Yeah, where you can't tell what you're pulling out. I'm curious to know how this game plays with different characters in the mix, but that snake feels so overpowered to me.
Yeah.
You were
that power is rough.
4 points behind me. I wouldn't call that overpowered.
Yeah.
I played.
You had half of the fortune
I agree,
deck.
because I feel like I
played my character as well as I possibly could. I felt like
I would have done better, but a lot of time, like the handful of times, I'd be like, okay, I'm all set, and Kyle f***ed me. All right, so let's unf***
was
this.
doing a lot of screwing other people over by accident. But
Thanks, Grandpa.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Okay.
And then I probably shouldn't have tried so hard for the shrimp points. It was a big group of points when I finally got it, but then I was like, okay, now you have to...
I didn't realize. For some reason, I thought because you were going so hard on shrimp, I thought shrimp was extra for you.
No, I just had a
they're all the
fortune.
same.
I had a fortune card that gave me 2 extra if I filled it.
Oh, that's why you went for shrimp.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I do like that your scoreboard, like not just the abilities, but the scoreboards are different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's one of my
Everything is
favorite
different.
things in the game.
Yeah. Which is great, and it makes it forces certain play styles, especially with certain abilities, depending on what you've got. Like with Grandpa, every dim sum I take throughout the whole game is only going to be worth 1 point,
Right.
unless I use that ability that doubles the point value.
The thing that I never did, which I feel like would have been the ultimate thing with this character power, because I can do the same action twice, I never bought 2 steamers in one round,
Oh,
which
that
I
would've
think
been
I
so
I
cool.
should have.
That would have been a cool thing to pull off.
That's
Yeah.
something I should have been working towards.
But there's so many, especially like at 4 players.
It was
there's
so hard to
many
get a
times.
steamer.
There's so many times where people are like, "I'm going to take your food token."
I did have a.
Or I'm going to turn the turntable away from you before your turn.
Yeah.
You need an action to turn it back.
Yeah. So
I had so
tough for you to work that out unless you're going for twofers.
Yeah, and I had a fortune card that was like, you can buy any steamer if you have the correct number, but not the tokens. So like there are ways to mitigate that. But yeah, I was like, that's so hard to do.
Right.
I'm just going to focus on take 2 and see what happens next turn.
And Dustin managed to basically win the game on the fact that he was able to keep just taking dim sum. Like with fortune cards and stuff, you kept on just like pulling dim sum off of steamers, pulling dim sum out of the bag, and putting it straight onto the board.
I get to draw a dim sum from the bag.
This guy.
You invited him.
I know.
He's your friend.
You.
Hey, we should hang out more.
Yeah. All right, and then for my second action,
Oh, I'm riding a horse.
I'm gonna take this.
Snake riding an ox.
Get 2.
It's such a ability. Such a ability.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's gonna get so many bonus points at the end of the game just because of that ability.
Maybe you should get more fortune cards. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. I waited too long to start getting them because I was like, I had the 2 that I started with, and I was like, nah, it's fine. And then I was like, oh, those are so powerful. Some of those are really good.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting to me about that though is like, you guys all benefited from just grabbing an individual dim sum way more than I would have.
Oh yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Because I was only going to get 1 point from that,
Yeah.
so I was never going to go for that
Yeah.
strategy. It was always going to be, no, I need steamers.
Right. Yeah, and I could play kind of a different balance off of, I'll get some steamers, I'll pick some, and I'll play off the kind of cards I've got.
I think it's interesting. I'd love to see playing a number of times. In some ways, if like the points would work out the same with the same spread of characters every time. Like depending on the draw at the beginning, that is how the game is going to work out. You know what I mean? Like if the snake is versus the ox, the snake will always win, kind of thing.
Oh yeah, is it a rock paper scissors?
Yeah, I wonder if there's if
eventually
the replayability kind of falters a little bit in that because some powers are just going to be better than others. But with so many options, it's going to take you a while to get to that point, regardless.
Yeah. Maybe once it gets to that point, since it's a random deal of 2 animal boards per player, maybe what it gets to is like, all right, we're randomly determining who first player is. They get the first player token, but they have to be the first one to choose their animal board, and then everybody else chooses one player at a time to try and like, all right, I'm countering the snake with the tiger or whatever. You know?
I think it's a simple enough game that if you want to start doing little house rules, like little house rules, you can without breaking the game.
Dustin can't look through the slats.
Yeah, exactly. Like Dustin can't look through the slats, which obviously was a huge part of his victory. Yeah. But like little things, and I like games that allow you to have that flexibility of figuring out how the table you want to play with can play the game.
I think it's a solid game, and like the deluxe edition, it looks great.
It looks so good.
I love this thing. Oh, that's one other thing that might be different about the deluxe edition, and it's a really nice little touch. This board has rubber feet.
Oh, that is so nice.
Which also elevates the little nub so that it's not wobbly, but it keeps it locked in place when you're trying to spin this thing around.
That's nice.
Really nice little touch. I don't know if that's a deluxe edition exclusive thing or if it's in the base game as well. But yeah, really good game from Hot Banana Games. Hey, thanks for checking out BNB Tabletop, the home of the Board and Barrel. A live show every Sunday night at 5 p.m. Pacific where me and my buddies play board games. If you haven't seen it, you're missing out. We like to keep things interactive with our Buff and Nerf house rules that allow you to influence the course of the game, and virtual bingo cards that could win you a free board game of your own. So do us a favor, do yourself a favor. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and ding that notification bell. Thanks again for stopping by. We'll see you Sunday night.